All right, so session 12. I believe it's session 12 we're on now. And quick little recap from last session. Guys were still traveling along the long road, and you guys, you guys all ported back there from Duntharos, and only one of you had side effects from that. Jonathan ended up with swollen lips and tongue, could hardly talk. And as you guys were traveling along, you guys came across Bard being chased by a pack of hungry gnolls on giant hyenas. Battle ensued, to which Portal pretty much took down the boss guy, but in the process he burnt half the ship sails down and caught the deck on fire. So you guys eventually got those all put out. Alamar, the cook, was quite pissed off because he had to waste a lot of beer to put the fire out. So he's in a grumpy mood. And he sees you guys have taken on a half-orc onto your crew, which he's still not happy about that as well. What else? Oh, you guys found inside one of the dead gnolls. You guys gutted him and found some kind of a parasite inside of it that you guys basically were able to capture, and you put it in a jar, and now it's like a little pet project sitting on somebody's shelf. Which, by the way, who took the little thing in a jar, and where's that jar at?
I did. Porto did, and he is currently studying it.
But where are you keeping the jar? You keep it like in your room? You keeping it up on deck?
Yeah, in his quarters, like where he keeps most of his stuff, and he's pretty secure about things that he finds interesting or valuable. So he probably has it under watch.
Okay, that's fine. So we'll say it's in your room, and let's see what else. Well, I think Will offered up his glaive to your new party member, Bard, and I seem to recall you did accept it. Is that right, Bard?
I'm sorry, the glaive?
Yeah, the Glaive of Winter.
Yeah, I took it because he wanted me to have it.
Okay, and just so we're on the up and up, I think your character had a shield. Is that correct?
That is correct.
So when you use this Glaive of Winter, you'll be unable to wield your shield.
Right.
Okay, and I think that was pretty much it from the last session. Did I miss anything, guys?
Well, did you talk about the parasite?
Yeah, it said you guys basically gutted one of the gnolls, and Porto has it in a jar in his room right now.
Yeah, besides that, just the ship catching on fire and the sail getting destroyed.
Yeah, so you guys are basically... Go ahead.
Go ahead. No.
So you guys are basically traveling at a lot slower pace because your mainsail has pretty much been destroyed. You got your forward sail and your aft sail, but it's cut down your speed quite a bit. So you guys are just kind of slowly rumbling along this road as best you can because you guys didn't have enough material to repair the sails.
I'm on my horse still.
Okay. So you're going to stay on your horse next to the ship, not actually on the ship.
Yeah, because that thing is weird. I don't know what the hell is up with that.
Okay. I believe Jodel is still with you guys, correct? I didn't send him off last time.
No, I think you sent him off. The druid?
Correct.
Yeah, I think
he went somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he went to the council.
Yeah, that's right, because he told you guys to continue on to Geod, and he would either meet you there or send a message to you guys, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Okay, just couldn't remember if that happened yet, if that was going to happen at the first of this session. And Navek is still with you guys, and the rest of the crew. Okay, and Porto, you wanted to spend some time with Nimba, trying to figure out how to make something out of this jar of gelatinous goo that you've got.
Yes.
Is that correct?
That is correct.
All right, so just a heads up for you guys, this is going to probably be a very heavy role-playing session tonight. If you guys get far enough, you may have an encounter, but I've got lots of little things to do in your slow journey to GA, because I think Nimba told you guys you're probably like 2-3 days away from GA now at this pace, so you're going to have some downtime to do whatever you like.
Alrighty then.
All right, so let's do this with a morning, afternoon, and evening action. Okay, you guys all came back at night, and you guys were all basically sleeping through the night, so you guys should have your full hit points back. And you guys can basically start off in the middle of the night if you want to do something, or you can do a morning action. Just let me know. And if you can't think of something, I will initiate something.
Well, during the morning, I'd be just again practicing with these new fists I had. Morning ritual of like kung fu moves and stuff.
All right, you doing it in private, or you doing it out in the open so like everybody sees you?
Well, I'm just doing it on the top of the deck, so people could see me if they wanted to.
All right, so
Yeah, I'm definitely pretty curious about that business. I haven't seen that before. So I'm watching pretty closely. And sorry, Brendan, which character were you again?
I'm the Wood Elf monk, Corin.
Corin.
All right, so as you do your morning ritual, you again kind of draw a crowd of the crew as they're going about their chores and whatnot, and Remora seems to be taking more of an interest than anybody else. Everyone else just kind of looks at you for a few minutes and then goes on about the work. Remora seems to stop and stare a little bit more.
Porto, can Porto roll a perception check to notice Remora noticing the monk?
Yeah, that's fine. Anybody can do that if they want.
All right. Hold on a second.
Yeah, she's not really hiding it very well. If she is trying to hide it from your standpoint, but you definitely see her kind of seem to be taking an interest. Not sure what that interest is.
Oh, so I'm not sure if it's like a romantic interest or is it like admiration of his fighting abilities?
You can't tell just by looking at her. You just
Can I roll insight?
Notice that she's watching him a little bit more intently than anybody else.
Can I roll insight?
You would need her to actually talk to her to get something out of insight.
All right. Porto casually strolls to Remora and says casually, "Do you find his fighting abilities admirable?"
She kind of looks you over like, what are you asking me for at this point? But she kind of gives you some kind of an answer where, well, I'm actually impressed with all of you guys' fighting abilities. Why would you ask such a question?
Well, I just noticed that you're more interested in this monk in particular. I figure you go up and talk to him if you really find him that interesting.
I don't know what you're insinuating, but hey, I don't see anybody else up here doing their practicing their moves up here. It's interesting, okay? And she kind of huffs and kind of stomps off back to her quarters.
As she stomps off, Tegan comes staggering up from the below decks, sees Corin and chucks an apple that he's taking a bite out of it toward him. Tell me again what happened to the sails of the ship? I took a nap and you burnt them?
Only accidentally.
You burnt them.
Well, yeah, of course. I'm not going to hide the fact that I burnt the sails.
When I see him throw this apple and start like kind of getting into his face a little bit, I'm like, "Whoa, Tegan, calm down." He was in quite a duress at the moment, and we were under attack by a deadly pack of gnolls and wolves. So, harm is done, and there's nothing you can do about it now.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. This hyena, this gnoll on a massive hyena just managed to jump on the deck, and my first instinct was to blast him with magic, but I'll apologize for causing the damage. I'm not quite used to the power that my magic can
And it's because you burnt them that I don't have any ale. Or
Well,
breakfast.
it wasn't my idea to use the ale.
Oh well. Shakes his head and he goes back to looking for breakfast.
But that Alamore kind of chimes in as well. So yeah, I know. I'm going a little thirsty myself right now. We got to wait 3 more days before we can get somewhere where I can refill the kegs over here. What a waste.
Yeah, well, hey. At least the ship didn't burn down.
Well, that could have been solved. Go ahead.
I'll be sure to direct my magic away from the ship from now on.
Never stopped me.
Alamore mumbles. That's a good idea. Use your head next time. Not your fists or fingers or whatever it was that stuff came out of.
It was the palm of my hands. But I'll make sure to point them away from the ship and the masts, especially the masts.
Nivex over on the side is kind of chuckling at the whole thing. Nimba comes out out from the mess hall, finishing up his breakfast, and he looks over at Porto and says, "So, Porto, are you ready to take a gander at whatever is this goo stuff you have in there? See what we can make of it?"
Absolutely. I'm actually quite intrigued and looking forward to figuring out what sort of properties this kind of goo can yield for usefulness.
All right, so he'll invite you down to the alchemy lab for the rest of the morning and the afternoon to kind of toy with this. So is there anybody else that wants to do a morning or afternoon action before I go in and do this little part with Porto?
I have out of character. I have a question. Nimba's a dwarf, right?
No, Nimba and Jimba are gnome brothers. Kishin's a halfling, Mermor is human, Olimar is a dwarf.
Okay, so Porto knows gnome, dwarf, elf, and common. So if he speaks to a gnome, or a dwarf, or any type of race, he usually speaks it in their in their mother tongue. Sorry, I want to just state that from now on.
Okay, that's fine. And for the most part, everybody here on the ship is speaking common. If I ever do speak in a different language, I'll make sure I point it out to you guys.
Okay.
All right, anybody else have a morning action? I'll take that as a no. Okay. All right, so Porto, you and Nimba are down in the alchemy lab, and you see he's got quite an elaborate setup here with all kinds of vials and the tubes that run from one to another, and little beaker flame thing over here, and all kinds of different ingredients and different kinds of potions and stuff. And he kind of shows you how everything works. That takes most of the morning. He goes in a lot of detail about how exactly everything works and all the different things he's tried in the past and what's worked and what hasn't worked and what he'd always liked to make and all that. But he takes your jar of this gelatinous goo, and he basically makes a suggestion. Okay, now, what do you want to try to make out of this? How about we try to make some kind of a potion of poison, or a potion of acid resistance, or what do you say? Does that sound like a good idea?
Yes. At first, I was thinking of turning it into something for all of our party members to coat their weapons with. But now that I think about it, a potion of acid resistance would actually be pretty useful. Another idea that I had, considering the properties, if I could convert as much of this goo as I possibly can into bottles of acid that could be used as kind of like a throwing type of something to use as a weapon. But I mean, I would prefer something more defensive, actually.
Okay, and he looks at you and kind of nodding, kind of grinning like he's trying to figure out a way to do that. And he goes, well, the only problem I see with your conclusion there is the fact that if you want to make something for everybody, then we only have a limited supply here. It'll be very diluted if we split it up amongst multiple vials. No doubt it will have some type of property that could help, but I have a feeling if we dilute it down that much, it won't be very effective.
I see, which is why I'm thinking our we have a ranger that uses arrows, but it would be completely diluted if we tipped all of his arrows with it, I believe. But I mean, if we could use it to coat someone's, at least someone's weapon, I think that would be useful. But if there's enough goo to be used as a resistance against acid, and I mean, as far as I'm aware of, if the properties are only acidic, I mean, if the properties happen to also yield resistance to other elements, then I would most likely consider something that would be able to provide resistance for the party. But like I said, it all depends on how diluted it would be if I split it up amongst the party.
And Nimikana, here's your little hypothesis, so to speak, and he says, "Hold on just a minute. Let me do some testing on this." And he takes the vial over and he drops a little drop into a little beaker, and he starts going to add in some other stuff and subtracting other things and pouring it to another vial, and comes about and he pours it on a little piece of parchment at the end, and he puts it into our microscope, and he comes back and he says, "Well, it's the pH is somewhere in between an acidic level and a toxic level, so it could come out either way, either poisonous or acidic. I'm not real sure until we really give it a shot."
So, in theory, it could provide poison resistance as well.
Something along that line, because the pH is right there in between. It'll be a tricky one, but I'm sure we can come up with something. Let's give it a shot. What do you say? I'm not scared.
I like your ambition and your enthusiasm.
All right, so he walks over to one of his chests and opens it up, and he pulls out these large-looking, some kind of hide gloves. You're not really sure what kind of material it is. They're kind of stretchy, almost bouncy and soft to the touch. He says, "Here, put on a pair of these," and he also hands you a pair of goggles. So here, throw on some goggles. Safety first. Safety first. Then he leads you over to his alchemy lab, and he starts with your help. He starts pouring parts of the goo into his contraption here to let it run through all the vials at different temperatures, and adds in some different different herbs and spices or little powders of, you're not sure what exactly they are. But at this point, I need you and he will both roll an intelligence or arcana check to see how well this thing turns out.
Oh. Okay. Do I get advantage?
Well, it is advantage with you and him rolling. And he rolled a 12. So.
Oh, perfect.
Alright, so you see this. He's pretty much emptied the whole vial into this contraption. It's going through all the tubes, and it's going into one vial and out the other. And you see it, stuff fizzing, stuff kind of bubbling, and it all comes out to this final little vial that he's got sitting at the end of it. And you see the vial start to kind of fizz a little bit as the last drop goes in there. And you see like some kind of fumes starting to come out toxic fumes coming out from the top of it. But it's nothing that's, that hurts you or burns anything. You just see some kind of fumes coming out of it. And he grabs a hold of it, and he holds it kind of arm's length there a little bit. Says, "Well, we did something. Now we just got to figure out how to test it or figure out what we did. What do you suggest?"
Well, we have that tadpole. Let's see what sort of effects it does to the tadpole.
You're a sick individual. But okay, let's go get it. Where's it at again?
It's right here. And Porto just takes out the jar.
All right, so just so I'm clear, you have the jar. The lid is on it.
Yes.
Nimba's holding this little vial of, you're not sure what it is. And what is your intention? What do you want to do here?
Well, having seen how the tadpole behaves, I make sure that I make sure that if I am going to open up the jar, that it won't be able to escape from the jar. So I'll probably open it, but immediately cover the jar with my other hand, and then grab the parasite as I tilt the jar as it falls into my hand, and I would probably grab it from the mouth, avoiding teeth or whatever is near it. If not, I would probably...
Stop right there. We got to take this in steps. Okay, so if I heard you right,
Okay.
you're going to take the lid off, and then you're going to put your hand over the top of it so it doesn't escape,
Yes.
right? All right, hold on.
Yes.
All right, as soon as you put your hand over the top of the lid, it latches onto your palm, and you feel its teeth kind of bite into your hand, and you take 4 points of piercing damage. Now the thing is basically stuck to your hand, and you can feel its teeth kind of almost like pulsing, like it's trying to dig into your hand at this point.
Oh, I see. Well, in that case, I firebolt it.
That same hand, or with a different hand?
Same hand.
Okay. Roll me a to hit.
All right.
Holy crap. Alright, so you basically, this thing has got a hold of your hand while your hand is still on the jar, and you just immediately release this firebolt out of that same hand, and you see the inside of the jar just like splat into nothing but blood and guts inside the jar, and the jar shatters itself. I need you and Nimba to both make me a dex check to see if you get splattered by some kind of shards. DC 13.
Alrighty then. Dex check or like acrobatics?
Yeah, either or. If you got proficiency in acrobatics, that's
All right.
fine. All right, so you're able to manage to avoid getting basically glass shards into your leg and abdomen and whatnot. And this thing just shatters all over the place. Like I say, for a split second, you saw the tadpole kind of like explode inside this jar. Nothing but blood and guts all over the edge of it. And then the jar itself actually exploded into a little ball of flame. And glass shards go flying everywhere. And you see Nimba kind of roll back. And you see him roll back, and the vial almost tips over, but he's able to save it and keep it from tipping over. He says, What the hell are you doing? I thought we were going to use this on it.
Sorry, it kind of bit my hand, and I have a thing with this kind of magic that I use. It just instinctually goes off every time I feel threatened. I apologize.
We're going to have to, put you out in the dinghy and drag you behind on the ship if you don't stop destroying stuff on this ship soon.
Yes, sorry. It's not something that I am very fond of using, but I will take note of that, and I will try to use less of it from now on. Anyway, there goes our test subject. I believe the only other way to see how this potion, this unknown potion that we just conjured, has any effect is if we have someone or some creature test it for us. If we don't have any guinea pigs, so to speak, to test it on, I'm willing to hear any suggestions that you have.
Nemo's eyes get wide. He kind of takes a step back, says, I sure as hell am not going to be your guinea pig. Everything you touch catches on fire or goes electrocuted or just blows up.
Right. I see. I guess in that case I'll have to just take a plunge for research, for science. And as Porto yells out for science, he dips a finger in the potion and sticks it in his mouth.
Okay. So you're sticking your finger in the vial, and then you're putting it in your mouth, correct?
Yes.
You are nuts. Okay. All right, so hold on a minute. All right, so you stick your finger into this vial, and you can feel your finger like tingling for a second, and as you put it up to your mouth, it starts to burn your finger and your tongue at the same time. And you take 5 points of poisoning damage.
Interesting. And Porto says that out loud.
It's like, well, what is it?
It seems to be doing damage to me.
That Nemo just kind of laughs just like everybody else. Says, oh, you are completely nuts. You know that? Well, don't drink any more of it. And he kind of pulls it away, and he puts a stopper on top of it, and says, okay, we know it does damage. Let's stop there. I think we've made enough progress for the day. What do you say? We need to clean this mess up down here.
I agree.
All right, so you guys will spend the next hour or so kind of cleaning up, picking up all the glass shards and all the dead tadpole blood and guts that are all over the alchemy lab at this point. Anybody else have an afternoon action or something they want to do or interact with? All right. So now that Porto has pretty much derailed one of my little side things, he pretty much killed the tadpole.
User in your channel timed out.
Oh, who'd we lose?
Oops.
Oh, we lost Bach.
I think we lost. Yeah, Savage.
All right, so you guys will basically travel the rest of the afternoon. Nothing really going on. Like Bakvard's out on his horse, staying away from the ship at this point. Navek will, well, I'll tell him as he comes back, but Navek's going to ask him to come on in at several times during the day until, and then Mill will share with him that there is a spot in the back of the ship where they can house horses. I shared that with you guys, right? Basically, the back of the ship was a converted hold with a gate in the backside. It drops down. You can put horses into it. Did I ever share that with you guys?
I don't think you did.
Oh, no.
I don't remember.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, I don't recall that.
Now you know. So the back of the ship is basically can be converted to like a drawbridge. It drops down the backside. You can put horses and larger cargo and stuff across the back. All right. Is he back yet? Nope, not yet. All right. So you guys travel throughout the afternoon, get more towards in the evening time, and Kishin kind of finishes up his chores for the day, and he walks up deck as you guys are kind of lounging around after having your supper at this point. Alamar's over there cleaning up some of the dishes and whatnot, and listening to some of your complaints or compliments on his dish tonight. You had pork again. Didn't have any beer, so he's already bitter and pretty much pissed off the whole time. They happen to resort to drinking water or tea at this point. But Kishin will pull out of his pouch a little pouch full of dice. And he asks if anybody wants to pass the time playing a game of dice at this point.
Sure.
Is Porto in the room at this moment?
Yeah, this is like right after dinner time, so you guys are all up on deck. Just finished up dinner, so basically at the mess hall table. So pretty much everybody's there.
All right, Porto watches.
Yeah, Corn will happily accept this challenge.
All right, so he'll share with you guys. There's 3 different kinds of games he likes to play. One's called Guts, one's called Prediction, and one's called Repeat Petey. Who would like to play?
Let's go with Guts.
Okay, who else playing?
I guess Porto will play as well.
Corn and Porto then.
Teagid, you gonna play with us?
No, I'm going on deck.
You're going below deck?
Up on deck. Upstairs.
Ah, okay, that's where everybody is, up on deck. All right, so if you guys are gonna play Guts, Kishan, can I explain the rules to you guys? Everybody antes. We'll say everybody antes up. Let's start off with 2 gold pieces. It says he'll be the dealer in this first round. He's going to roll 2 dice. Now each person,
User was moved to your channel.
each person in turn will take a turn, and they basically will decide if they're going to stay in or out. If you're in and you lose, then you have to match what's in the pot. Then each player goes in turn, tries to beat what the dealer just rolled. A pair is higher than a single, and the house will win if there's a tie in that. And the pot, if nobody wins, then the pot rolls over to the next game. So let me say it again. So he'll roll 2 dice. At that point, you guys will decide
User entered your channel.
whether you are in or out. Means if you're in, you're going to roll and try to beat it. If you're out, then you're out and you lose your money. Okay, but if you stay in and lose, you have to match what's in the pot. So if right now we have Quarren, Kishan, and Porto playing, and Alamor will also come up here and play as well. So we've got basically 8 gold pieces in the
User
pot
in your
right.
channel timed out.
Does that make sense to everybody?
I could barely pay attention. So let me get this straight. Okay, you have to beat the dice, and if you don't, you lose. And if you lose, you're out. But if you're staying in, you have to match however is in the pot.
Here, Kishan will offer up a practice round. Okay, so here we go. Kishan will roll first.
Damn.
Holy crap!
Holy shit.
So he basically rolled 2 20s. That is like the best anyone could do. So
Porto folds.
yeah. So at this point,
Yeah, he folds.
everybody's going to fold, and he would win the pot. Now let me do this again, so it's not so freaking awesome. All right, so he got a 15 and a 5. So basically, he's got 15 high. So you guys have to roll 2 more dice, and you gotta have something better than that. So what beats that, obviously, is 16 or higher, or if you get a pair, like 2 2s or 2 1s, that beats a high card of 15. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think I got it.
Okay, so at this point, after he rolls these 2, you guys decide, I'm in or I'm out. So if you're in and you lose, then you have to match what's in the pot for the next round. If you're out, then you just lose your money. You don't have to match the pot.
I'll take out this round.
Okay, so Porto...
This is a practice round, though.
Yeah, this is a practice round still. So,
Oh, then I'll just go in for the sake of going.
alright, so before you roll, Porto, what do you mean by this bin luck feature? I'm not familiar with that one.
Oh well, it's a class ability where another creature makes an attack roll, ability check, or saving throw. I can use a reaction to spend 2 sorcery points. Although at this point it's kind of not secretive anymore, so everyone knows. So
Oh, crap. I'm sorry, man. I didn't catch that. That was a private one. But I'm just, that's only for an attack though, right? It's not like you have proficiency
Well-
with gaming tools.
No, it's just when another creature you see makes an attack roll, an ability check, or saving throw. So I guess if this roll is neither of those, then I guess it doesn't matter. But I was just wondering if I could use it anyway. But it's fine.
Okay, alright, sorry for getting out with your secret. Alright, so Quarren, you want to go first?
Yeah, sure.
Damn, okay, so Quarren's in. And now, Portal, now you have to beat an 18, basically.
Nope.
Portal loses, and then, I said, that was Kishin first, now Olimar is going to roll. He stayed in. Yay! Look at Olimar.
Damn.
So he basically takes the pot, and now everybody that was in and lost has to match the pot. So now basically this pot went from 8 to, well, 8 times 3, 24 gold pieces now. Does that make sense?
So wait, hold on a second. No, just the matching the pots bit. How, like, what are the bets per game or per round, I guess?
It starts out with everybody's
Like-
antes. Everybody puts in 2 gold pieces. So basically that's a total
Okay.
of 8 gold pieces in the pot. So on that,
Okay,
on that
and-
round, if you stay in and lose, then you have to put 8 gold pieces in there, basically matching with what's in the pot. Does that make sense?
I prefer more of a Texas Hold'em type of betting.
Hey, we're playing with dice.
All right, I'll play one round.
All right, Quarren, you still in?
Yep.
Bakvar, are you back on TeamSpeak?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, so while you're away, Nivek was offering to invite you up on deck to give your horse a rest, and Nimba shares with you that the back of the ship actually has like a drawbridge where it drops down, where they can store horses and larger cargo in the back, if you want to come up and join them. Because at this point, you guys have made it through breakfast and afternoon and dinner. I'm assuming you at least come on the ship to have dinner with them. Is that correct?
Sure.
Okay, and this game of dice is what they started playing after dinner. So it's up to you if you want to join them in the game of dice.
Enjoy a game of chance.
All right, Guts is more fun with lots of people. All right, by the way, guys, this is a real poker game. I've lost my ass on this to a point where I had to borrow money for breakfast the next day. So,
Yeah, I
So
know
we
how
shouldn't
that's
play, is
like.
what you're trying to say?
just 1 second, guys. I gotta respond to a text here. That was awesome. You can tell how often I whisper to other players. So, okay, so we got Kishin, Olimar, Quarren, Porto, and Bakvar all in this game. All right, so this time it's for real. All right, so Kishin's going to roll the first 2. He's a dealer.
How much are we in for here?
2 gold pieces is the first one. Portal, that doesn't have to be a secret. You have 250 gold.
Okay. All right.
Ooh, not very good roll there. Who's in?
Corn will go in.
Boom.
We're just trying to beat the house here, right?
If you get like a pair,
Damn.
then yeah, you'll beat Corn with a pair. Or a 20 and another, and the second one's higher.
So are we trying to beat each other or the house?
You're trying to beat each other. Whoever has the highest one wins the pot.
Oh, so do you declare you're in after the so I guess I'm not fully understanding.
I prefer
thought we were playing the
blackjack.
house.
I prefer blackjack. We beat the house.
So I mean, because when do you opt in? The first person goes, but then that's when you have to opt in or not.
You have to opt in before you roll. Yes, after the first person rolls, then everyone decides, okay, I'm in or I'm out.
But that's when you decide, like, so now I have to roll. I can't opt out.
Correct.
Gotcha. Okay.
All right, so last one left is Olimar. Let's see what he does, because he was in. Holy shit, look at that!
Oh, you got me.
All right, so he just won, it's 5 of us, so he just won 15 gold. So all you losers have to put 15 gold in there.
Plus the 2 gold, right?
Nope, you don't. No more annies, because now the losers is what replenishes the pot. So as you guys see, now we've got 15 times 4. There's now 60 gold pieces in there. And this is why it's called guts, because now your next roll, are you really going to stay in and take a chance of losing 60 gold?
Oh, I gotta go at least once. I almost had that one.
All right, so the dealer changes every round. So Quarren, now you go first, and then the rest of us decide if we're in or out.
All right.
All right, so before anybody else rolls, say if you're in or out.
Porto's in.
All right, so Olimar will stay in since he's the big winner so far, and Kishin's going to bow out. All right, it's Porto, so you go ahead and roll.
All right. Before I roll, I want to publicly announce that all of you fine gentlemen this evening are exquisite. And Porto then majestically throws his dice.
You see,
Holy
And he
crap.
snaps his fingers.
shit, Kishin falls back out of his chair. Olimar grumbles something under his breath. Says, damn elf. All right, so Olimar, he gets up there and says, I'll show you your damn elf luck. He takes the little cup of dice and he shakes it up by one ear and he shakes it by the other and kind of gives you a little evil stink eye and he rolls. Ah, screw you, elf. All right, so you take 60 gold, Porto, and there is now 120 gold pieces in the pot. You guys want to keep going? Porto, you're up. You get to roll next. First.
User in your channel timed out.
Wait, okay, so wait, how does this work now? So there's 120 pieces in the pot now, but I win 60?
You won 60, and then since Olimar lost, and who else lost? Quarren? Yeah, Quarren and Olimar had to put 60 gold pieces in. So now there's 120 in there.
So if I go
User
right
entered
now,
your
how
channel.
much... If I go right now, if I lose, I don't lose any gold, or what am I putting in the pot right now?
You're the dealer. You're in, no matter what.
Okay.
Because
Alright,
the deal is, if you're the dealer, you're always in. If everyone else like folds after you roll, then the pot's automatically yours. So basically, you're at an advantage with that point.
Alright.
Sorry, I got dropped. So how much is the pot now, or the ante?
No, it's not an ante. It says
120 gold.
if you're in and you lose, you have to pay 120 gold.
Alright, at this point I'm gonna step out.
I don't think anyone wants to play.
Oh, Olimar's going to play. You better believe it. He's going to play. So just
Well, in that case, the dealer rolls his dice.
Oh, Bachvard stayed in too. And look at that, you rolled a 20. Holy crap. All right, Bachvard, what you got there, bud? Oh, almost got a double. Okay, here you go, Olimar. Ah, damn it.
Oh!
Then the dwarf is over there just cursing and swearing all kinds of things in common and dwarven, any other language he can think of. He just over pounding on the table. He's just so pissed off at this point. Just it pains him to give his money to this elf.
Porto speaks in Dwarven to Almar and says, maybe next time, friend.
He just kind of mumbles back at you like on and spits off to the side. He pulls out his money and he puts his 120 on the table. Okay, Bachbard, you also lost 120 gold as well. There's now 240 on the table. And, see, that was Porto. Next one up would be Corn, if you're still in. Are you still out, Corn?
So wait, Porto... So
No, I
won,
was out.
So I won 120 gold that round?
Correct.
Alright.
I'm too poor to play right now.
Alright, so Olimar, he's digging into the last bit of his coin purse at this point, and he says he's in. Who else is in?
Porto mentions about some sort of study that he needs to get back to, and he casually pulls away from the game.
Alright, it's me and Savage. Me and Bachbard. That's not bad enough losing to an elf. Now I got a chance to lose to an orc. Or, I got a chance to beat an orc. Oh, sorry, half orc. Alright, Bachbard, you roll. Not looking so good, is it there, my friend? Let's see what the old dwarf's got. Uh-oh. The suspense is killing you. The suspense is killing you.
Uh-oh.
At that, you see a big old smile come across Olimar's face there, and he reaches out and he pulls all the coins over to his side of the table, and he just kind of lays on it a little bit and rubs his beard in it, and big old smile, and this will buy me quite a few beers once we get to Jihad. Tell you what, Bachbard, one drink's on me, and I'll even buy one for the elf here.
Porto looks at Olimar and he gives him a wink.
But then everybody kind of cheers and stuff, or moans, whatever, like Bachbard over there. I'm not sure how much money he's got left, but Olimar's beside himself. He's just happy. He's counting all his coins, and he's putting them all into his coin purse, and you see him go back, and he doesn't have enough room in his coin purse, just putting some of it in his shirt. And you see him kind of walk back into the kitchen with his pockets all full, jingling as he's going across the deck there. I'm assuming nobody else has guts to stay in anymore. He looks back at you, Bachbard.
What?
So Bachbard, basically, if you're wanting to stay in...
Porto goes up to Bachbard and says, listen, battles are meant to be won or lost, but if you survive and you lose, then it's a battle meant to be fought another day.
Bachbard, do you have 240 gold left?
Got plenty of gold.
Alright, so technically you lost. So you do owe 240 out there. It's just whether anybody else wants to stay in and play for that much or not. So if you put it on the table, everyone else will get a chance to say if they're in or not. So you're staying in, Bachbard? Bachbard, do you hear me? Oh, it's on the table.
Yeah, I was typing.
Alright, so at that, dwarf kind of looks back at you and, man, this half-orc's got quite a bit of coin, I see. Damn it, I can't walk away from the gambling table, but I've already won enough. I'm done. It's yours. And at that, you see Remora kind of slowly, casually walking out from the mess hall. Says, well, I don't have 240 gold, but I may have something else to wager. And she kind of walks up slowly like that, and you see her unbutton one shirt, one button on her shirt there a little bit. Says, how about your 240 gold up against this, and she kind of points at her lips as she puckers out a little bit. Is that worth 250 gold to you?
I don't know you, lady, and I would not. I look very uncomfortable and start looking around. I withdraw my offer, and I pull my coin off the table.
And she kind of looks at you and kind of shakes her head a little bit, says, all that brute, all that muscle, I'm still scared of a little kiss. And she kind of slowly saunters back around and walks back down into her mess hall. All right, so I guess at that point, it's all gone. Blackbard got off. He didn't have to lose his money because no one else was staying in, correct? All right, I'm assuming that's it. So Blackbard, you got off the hook then. You didn't lose your 240 because you were scared of a little girl. All right, so at that, Olimar kind of goes back into his room. You hear the clinking sounds, and he locks it up into his chest. Comes walking by the house, says, that calls for a drink. Who wants to, oh, crap. We're out of ale. Hey, Kishin, you still have any more of that fire whiskey? And Kishin kind of says, damn it, Olimar, that was my private stash. I didn't want everybody knowing about that, but I tell you what, I'll sell you some, Mr. Moneybags. And at that, Olimar says, I think I can afford that this time. How much do you want for that flask of the fire whiskey? And Kishin kind of looks around a little at everybody and says, how about 50 gold? That Olimar says, 50 gold? That fire whiskey isn't worth more than 10 at the most. He says, yeah, but it's the only thing on the ship. What do you say, Olimar? Olimar kind of grumbles a little bit, says, damn it, I'll give you 40. That's my final offer. Kishin says, it's a deal. He puts his hand out there and he pulls this fire whiskey out of his backpack and hands it off to the dwarf. And the dwarf says, well, you know what? I'm still feeling generous. Who's up for a drink? He's offering to everybody.
Corn's gonna have to pass. Usually, the harder liquors hit my elfish body too hard.
And who's this? Who's offering again? I'm still just trying to get all these characters straight.
It's Nimba. It's Nimba, the engineer slash alchemist.
What was the question?
Okay. I'm just trying to I'm trying to learn who the hell all these people are. I'll take you up on your offer. What kind? He's the gnome, right?
Olimar's the one that's offering to do the drinking.
Oh.
Olimar's the one that wants the money. He's the dwarf.
Dwarf. I've always found dwarves to be good drinking company. I'll take you up on that offer.
Alright, so the dwarf sits you down at the table and pulls out some shot glasses. Who else wants to join us?
I'll stay with you guys, but I'm not gonna partake.
Oh, we could get you a smaller glass.
Yes, perhaps just a finger. Nothing much.
Porto casually bumps into, was it Tegid? And he says, come on, we're all friends here. It's a night of celebrations. Have a glass.
That was corn, just to let you know.
Corn. Sorry. Corn. Yeah, basically what I just said. Corn, it's a night of celebration. Have a glass.
Well, very well. We did have quite a big earning there from Balkavard, so very well. I'll partake with one glass only.
That's the spirit.
I completely forgot I had this map here. This is more of just like a role-playing map for everybody, if you guys want to move people around. All right, so we've got Kishin's in, Olimar's in, Blockbard's in. Porto, were you going to take a shot?
Of course.
All right, go ahead and move yourselves up to where Olimar is if you guys are doing a shot. All right. So at that, we got Kishin, Remora, Olimar, Porto, Blockbard, and Corin. But Corin said you are or not going to take a shot.
I'll have one drink, I said.
All right. So you see Olimar kind of set up around the table, all the shot glasses. All right. Now, who wants to make this interesting? I know I'm a dwarf, but let's see who can drink the most and the fastest. What do you say?
Porto slams his hand on the table and says, "I'm in."
I like your spirit, but okay, let's do this. He pours a round of shots for everybody. Says, to money and prosper and ale and... Oh, he almost said whores, but... And women. Everyone take a shot?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll try and down it.
Everybody roll me a DC Con 5 save.
Nice. All right, let's do this. A 1. Nice.
Alright, so everybody fires back one of these shots. Oh, let me roll one for Kishin, sorry. Kishin and Remora. Okay, here comes Kishin. And Remora. And Olimar. Alright, so everybody takes their shot. A few people kind of make some faces over there. It's an old Portal back there. He takes a shot back. He slams the glass back down. You can see his eyes kind of watering. You see him kind of hold his hand to his mouth, and his cheeks get really big. Like he just upchucked a little bit, but then it was able to keep it back down. He swallows it back down, but he came real close to losing on that one. At that out, Olimar, he just lets out a big old laugh. Says, "Ah, yes, this is quite a game. Up for another one? Another round on me."
Porto slams his fist on the table and says, "Hit me."
Yeah, Corin's like, oh yeah. He's starting to feel it already.
All right, everybody roll me another con save. It's DC 7 now.
Boom!
All right, so here's Remora, Olimar, and Kishin. Oh! You see Kishin slam one back. You see he can't even get his hand down back on the table again. He immediately turns to the side and he just pukes all over the side of whatever went in his mouth. And he's like, "Okay, I'm out. I can't take it anymore." And you see him kind of slowly kind of walk over to the side of the ship and kind of hang his head there a little bit. Oh, fun games. Okay, shots are on me. Who's up? Who wants another one? He goes around and pours all the glasses up there.
Connection lost. Error. Error. Connected. Channel switched.
All right, I'm back, guys. Did we lose anything on the roll 20? Was it good?
Yeah, it's good. All good.
All right, so I don't know how much of my little speech there came out. So Olimar basically raises the whiskey bottle up again and says, all right, this is my kind of game, folks. Who's up? I'm buying the next shots. He pours them all out for everybody again. Who's up with me? Who's drinking with me? You guys all there?
Continuously slams his fist on the table and says,
Connection lost. Connected.
Okay, Brown.
I'm not sure if it's the TeamSpeak server or it's my actual connection here. Is anyone else having issues with TeamSpeak?
not really. In fact, tonight's like probably the only night I've very smooth session on TeamSpeak where no one's cutting out.
All right, so if it does it one more time, I'm going to switch to a different router in my house, but hopefully it's working now. All right, so I see these last con saves here. The DC is now 9. Was that last round or was that this round? The 19, the 7, and the 13?
That was this round.
All right, Corn, so again, you take a shot back, come back down, you got a stone look on your face like you're okay, but you can't hold it anymore, and you just retch all over the table in front of everybody. Remora and Kitchen and everybody kind of get up from the table a little bit, like, oh, that's nasty, that's nasty. And you pretty much kind of roll off your chair, and you pass out on the floor right there next to your chair.
All right.
But then Olimar kind of stands back up. He's got his whiskey bottle and says, well, damn it, I guess we're going to have to move to a different table. So hold on, let me get some new shot glasses. And he runs back into the kitchen, comes back out with 3 or 4 more shot glasses. Says, here, let's go, let's go over here. He sits on the floor, and he takes one of the stools, and that's where he puts all the shot glasses on there. So who's drinking with me? Who's drinking? And he pours all the shot glasses there again.
Porto points his finger, casts light. It is directed at his shot glass, and it is a wonderful magenta color. And then he takes a sip from it.
All right, say it again. I'm sorry.
Porto casts light on his shot glass, and it's a wonderful magenta color. And then he takes a shot.
At that, Olimar kind of just starts rubbing his eyes a little bit. Like, what? I don't know. Is that me? Or are you doing some kind of magic trick? Stop it! Stop it! Remora's just over there, just laughing. She's just rolling at this point. Just can't believe what she's seeing at this point.
Porto continuously casts light on the shot glass, switching from magenta, blue, yellow, red, green, magenta, blue, yellow, green. He constantly does that.
You could see,
it's
like
a light
Olimar's
show.
getting like annoyed at this. He's got like one eye closed. You know, he's just kind of squinting the other eye. Remora's just sitting there, got a big smile on her face. All right, so who hasn't passed out yet? So we got Porto, Remora, and Olimar, and Bachvard. You're still in it, right? All right, roll your con saves if you're taking another shot. Damn, look at Bachvard.
The orc's got
Nice.
stamina.
All right, so here goes Olimar. DC is now 12. And Remora. Oh! You see Remora.
Damn!
Remora brings the shot glass up to her mouth, and before she even gets it up, into her mouth, you see her kind of slowly put the shot glass back down the table, and she just falls straight back and passes out. Ah!
At this point, Porto notices, well, I guess everyone notices that Remora passed out. But Porto says, alright guys, I think I'm done for the night. And he casually goes to Remora and then says, I'm going to take her to her quarters.
Olimar says, yeah, big softy. Can't hang with the dwarf and the half dwarf, half orc. So Blackbard, he's my new drinking buddy. Come on, elf. He pours some more shots out on there on the little stool again. Who's drinking?
Porto just simply casts lights and flicks from color to color as he brings Remora back to her quarters.
What are you casting light on the shot glasses still?
Yeah.
So you see Olimar look at his shot glass and as it's changing all those freaking colors and stuff, he just kind of looks at it and he smiles and he brings up to his lips and he downs his shot. DC 15. Oh, Blackbard.
Oh.
DC 15, if you're in. Oh, look at that. Okay, so you guys both bring up your shot glasses. You guys do cheers, you clink shot glasses. You guys both take your shots. And as you do, you guys both just fall backwards and pass out and puke all over yourselves.
Nice.
Okay, so let me get my bearings here. So Remora's passed out. Olimar's passed out. Quarren, did you pass out too? Yeah, I think you passed out, right?
Yeah, I'm
Yushin's
passed out.
Blackbard, he's now gone. Porto left before he got passed out. So everybody that played, except for Porto, the quitter, is all passed out at this point. Alright, so you guys are all passed out there on the deck. Nimba and Jimma come walking by, and they just kind of shake their heads as they're looking at everybody. So I'm not moving them. They can sleep there for all I care. And Porto?
Connection lost. Error. 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 Connected. Channel switched.
Alright, I switched routers, so hopefully that doesn't happen again. You guys hear me?
Okay,
No worries,
problem.
man.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Alright, so how much of that last little thing did you guys hear?
We heard the two laughing at the drunks on the deck.
Alright, so yeah, everybody's basically passed on the deck. Nim and Jim are going to leave them there at this point. Portal, you were going to try to do something with Remora, bring her back to her room, is that correct?
Porto stepped to the bathroom, I think. But yes, he was taking her to her room.
Okay, so we'll wait till he comes back before I respond to that. Tegan, you obviously hear some bunch of thumps and some retching sounds and whatnot from below deck. Not sure if you're wanting to investigate any
User
further.
in your channel timed out.
No, I pretty much figured what was going on. Only fools try to outdrink it to work when it works, so.
Portal, you back yet? All right,
User entered your channel.
so while waiting for Porter to come back, Navek has been setting up a top deck, just watching all this nonsense, saying a few things here and there about how these deprived and unfortunate souls down here are just wasting their lives away with this drunkard order, and just very unbecoming of a human being and elf or whatever else they could be. And he starts slowly going down and kind of grabbing some of the drunks by the arms and dragging them as far as he can, at least inside some of the shelter above deck where he can, and covers them up with some blankets and some tarps and whatnot.
Leave them where they lay, Navek. No point in wasting your time on them. They'll be fine.
The last thing I need is for these guys to get pneumonia or get a cold. We need these guys. This is such nonsense. This silly dwarf and his drinking games.
Well, only a fool tries to outdrink a dwarf to begin with. But throw a blanket over them if you think it'll help, but let them sleep on the deck. It's their own damn fault.
All right, Porter, you back on TeamSpeak?
All right, I'm back.
All right, so you were going to try to carry Remora down to her room. Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay, so as you guys attempt to try to pick her up, you see Navek kind of walking over to you. He says, "Hey there, now. I don't know what you plan on doing, but you just need to leave her alone. You've been drinking too much, and I don't think it's such a good idea that you two go below deck. Let me help her to her quarters."
Sure, I don't mind. Help me out.
At that, Navek just kind of gives you a look like, yeah, you're up to something there. And he picks Remora up over his shoulder and starts walking down the stairs to put her in her quarters.
Excuse me, are you insinuating something? I'm not that type of person, just so you know.
Well, you mean the type of person that likes to play dice and gamble and then drink? And then waits for the opportunity for a girl to pass out to then pick her up and take her to her room? Of course not. That's not what I witnessed at all.
No, I know exactly what you're insinuating, and I'm letting you know that I'm simply going to bring Remora to her quarters, and nothing more. I will leave as soon as she is in her bed, sleeping safe and sound. But you're welcome to help me. Go right ahead.
Says no help needed. He's already got her up on his shoulder at this point, and he's carrying her down the stairs.
Porto follows.
And you follow him down to his room. He opens up her door, and he sees you kind of falling down the hallway. Says, "If you must watch me, that's fine, but by Lathander's will, I am an honorable man. But you can watch if you want." And you see him kind of go into her room and lay her down in her bed and cover her up, and looks at you almost like, "Okay, do you approve? Are you okay with this?" Walks back out.
I approve.
Walks back out to the door, and he shuts the door and looks at you and kind of gestures for you to head back up deck.
Hold on a second. You're not exactly that adept at tucking people in. And Porto goes in and tucks Remora in before leaving the room.
And you see Navek kind of giving you a watchful eye as he sees you go back into her room and tucks her in a little bit better than he did. Says, "Very well. She's so drunk she probably would have noticed anyway, but thank you, but she'll be do fine. I'm sorry if I question your honor, but it's just the honorable thing to do."
I understand. You are a man of your word after all, and you are a follower of Lathander. On the walk back up deck, Porto casually mentions, "You fancy her, don't you?"
You see that to Navek?
Yes.
Navek looks shocked. He's like, I'm old enough to be her father. That's disgusting. I'm a married man." Well, then you see kind of the look in his eye. He starts getting all sad and stuff, starts thinking about Helgabal, and that's where his family still is. He says, I would never. And he stomps off.
Porto chuckles and says, "Not to worry, friend. I was only joking.
You should not joke.
It was merely a jest."
You should not joke of such things. And again, he storms.
Perhaps not with you. Have a good night. That's what Porto says.
All right. So, unless anyone else has something they want to do for an evening action, anybody?
I think everyone's passed out at this point. Porto studies a bit before he too goes to bed.
Tegan spends most of the night on deck, watching the stars.
All right. So Nimba will have be at the wheel, continuing on down the long road at this point, and Nivek will take a watch during some point during the night. But between Nivek, Jimba, Nimba, and I guess you, Tegan, as well, if you guys all want to volunteer for watches, that's fine.
That's fine.
All right, so you guys make it through the night, pretty much uneventful. No encounters at this point. Everyone kind of slowly wakes up. You see Nimba walk around on deck with a pot and a big spoon, banging it all over the deck, trying to get everybody to wake up. Says, "Get up! Get up! Get up, you lazy bums! There's chores to do. There's Olimar. There's breakfast." Well, and he kind of looks at Olimar with a little bit of puke in his beard and stuff. Says, "Well, perhaps today you stay out of the kitchen. Jimba and I will make breakfast." Yeah, we'll do that. So he kind of finally stops clanging on the pots and pans and kind of just leaves everybody to their passed out drunkenness there on deck.
Porto simply surveys the area, considering we're probably in a little bit closer to our destination. It's probably up on deck. Yeah. Porto's on deck, surveying the area at this point.
Yeah, regardless of the perception check you roll, you still can't see any kind of city in sight. If you have a conversation with Nimba, he still thinks you're at least a day's travel away from Jid at this rate.
All right.
All right. Any morning actions for everybody? Nimba and Jimba will attempt to make some kind of a breakfast of what you think is some kind of pancake / biscuit / pastry. You're not sure what it is.
Is Nimba involved, or is Nimba free in the morning?
Yeah, Nimba and Jimba are in the kitchen basically fixing breakfast for everybody since Olimar is pretty much incapacitated at this point.
Oh, okay. Then Porto will, if he could salvage the remains of the parasite at all, he's gonna study its molecular, he's going to study its properties for any kind of out of the ordinary substances.
What are you studying again?
The remains of the parasite from the other day.
Oh, there are no remains. It was pretty much either charred or splattered, and all you've got is like bits and pieces of skin and flesh and cartilage and bone. There's nothing discernible anymore. You pretty much destroyed it.
In that case, Porto will continue his research on the unknown potion that he and Nimba conjured, and he won't go into too much detail with it. He won't go any further. He'll make some experiments, but he'll ultimately wait for Nimba in the afternoon or in the evening or whenever he's free to continue on his progress with developing some sort of potion or some sort of substance.
Okay, yeah, we can cover that for the afternoon or the evening action. Okay, anybody else
Okay.
for a morning or afternoon action?
No, Corn's gonna hold off today. He's feeling a bit too groggy for his morning ritual.
Blockbard
Nope, I'm good.
and Teagid.
I'm loudly being fetched with Storm on the deck, making as much racket as I can.
You see Remora and Kishin, all the crew pretty much just rubbing their heads a little bit, and it seems like they flinch every time you make like a loud racket or something like that. Like you can see it piercing into their head with their serious hangovers they got at this point. And pretty much anybody that was drunk, including Portal, was a little bit tipsy last night. You guys would have been doing anything at disadvantage at this point anyway, due to your hangovers. All right, so you guys pretty much sleep the rest of the afternoon away. Those that are drunk, that is, or hungover. And you guys gradually kind of get your bearings back about you again and start coming about. And you see the sun starting to set, and Olimar's back in the kitchen, kind of really slowly making something for dinner. He's at this point taking a bath or cleaning himself off as best you think, as best as he could. And everybody's getting ready for their dinner tonight. Guess what's for dinner again?
More pig.
Pork and biscuits. Yummy. All right, so
Pork is not too shabby.
complain.
In fact,
Storm.
I came across in my travels pork, exquisite, absolutely exquisite pork that's seasoned with some sort of native herb, but honestly, it was just absolutely blissful to the taste buds.
Olimar just kind of looks at you with his eyes closed, almost like he's still suffering from some kind of headache. Says, "Yeah. Eat your pig and be happy."
Will do. And Porto says that in Dwarven. Olmar's Dwarven, right?
Correct. All right.
Okay.
All right. So is everybody eating?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. Everybody that was drunk, roll me another con save to see if you can keep it down.
Yes.
It's just a DC 10.
Well, it looks like everyone makes it.
Well, let's see. Here comes the dwarf.
Oh,
Oh,
no!
jeez.
So you see.
The cook!
Okay, let me roll the other two first. Okay, Kishin and Remora.
Oh, no!
All right, so you see Olimar he sits down at the table. He's kind of looking down at his plate, takes his fork, and he kind of, forks it around a little bit, and he tears off a piece of the pork and holds it up in front of his face. He's looking at it. He turns it a couple times like he's really looking it over. Sticks one in his mouth. You see him close his eyes, and he's chewing. And he's chewing. And he's thinking, "Whoop!" Almost like, "Whoop!" And he turns off to the side and just blah. There comes the rest of his breakfast, whatever he had once he woke up. And you see Remora over there. She was doing fine. She's just chewing her pork, and she sees Olimar starting to puke. And you see her clasp her hand up to her mouth, and her eyes get real big. And you see her cheeks puff out, and then you see puke just spewing out from the sides of her hands while she's trying to trap it in her mouth. And she gets up and she runs off to the side of the ship and just loses the rest of it off the side of the ship. So, the rest of you enjoy.
Porto
Go ahead.
Porto goes to Remora and offers her a sip from his water skin.
Corn's like,
Here-
come on. You didn't throw up in our food, right, Olmar?
Porto says, "Here, have some water," to Remora.
So Remora you see her wiping her mouth with like the back of her sleeve, and she kind of keeps her hand over her mouth because she knows it just smells like wretched puke at this point, and she kind of nods like she's thanking you, and she takes your water skin, and you see her take a couple swigs and slosh it around her mouth, and she spits it off to the side, and just, "Thank you. I'm so embarrassed. I'm so sorry." And she hands you back your water skin. And she turns around, just kind of looks off
No
to the
worries.
side.
No worries. Even the finest warriors falter sometimes.
Then Olimar kind of looks at you and says, "No, I didn't puke in your food. I was doing fine until I just, I don't know. I guess I've just had pork just one day too many."
And Corin just kind of chuckles at him. All right.
Porto, he laughs loud for all to hear and says, Olimar, friend, no matter how many times you say what you say, it's clearly obvious. You obviously can't hold your alcohol.
Hey, I'm not the one who quit. So you better shut your trap over there. Me and the half-orc over here, we're the only ones that stuck to the end. At least I think we stuck to the end. As far as I can remember, he and I stuck it till the end.
Porto continues to laugh out loud.
Olimar just kind of gives you a dirty look. Says Blackfard, what do you think? Oh, that was the answer?
The strong silent type.
Olimar kind of looks at the orc kind of quizzes. Yeah, what he said.
Porto continues to laugh out loud.
So you guys are basically able to make your way through the rest of supper. Remora and Olimar kind of excuse themselves, and they don't partake anymore at this point. But they do help clean up and get ready to do for your evening activities if you want. And you see Remora kind of, she seems embarrassed at what she happened over there, but you see her kind of over there twiddling her thumbs like she needs something to occupy her time, and she stands up. I got an idea. There's a game we used to play back in the village called Brave Chicken. It's a game of darts. It doesn't involve drinking, thank God. I think we can do without that for tonight, but I can explain it to you if you guys would like to play.
Explain away.
All right. So again, the game's called Brave Chicken. So what it entails, and you see her kind of walk up to one of the doors leading into like the mess hall or the kitchen and whatnot. Let me switch maps here. And you see her kind of drawing out this outline of a person. She grabs a piece of chalk. She starts drawing this little person on the door over here as outline. Basically a silhouette, if you will. Kind of like they see at crime scenes. I know it's a very crude drawing, but deal with it. Okay, so the game is everyone makes a bet. You can challenge someone individually or you can go on teams, but I propose we challenge one-on-one. And so one is the Brave Chicken and one is the Shooter. The Brave Chicken stands right here, and you see her take these 4 pieces of parchment out and put these little bullseyes in strategic locations next to the little stick man that she drew. It says, what you do is the Brave Chicken stands there on the door. The Shooter then takes darts, and he throws 4 darts. He tries to get 4 darts at all one of these bullseyes here without hitting the person. Now, the way this works, if you hit a bullseye, you get a point. If the chicken flinches or moves, you get a point. If you miss the bullseye but get close and the chicken doesn't move, the chicken gets a point. And obviously, if the chicken gets hit, the chicken gets a point. And the first person to 5 points wins. Who wants to be a brave chicken?
Porto scoffs and says, this is a silly game. I'm going back to my research.
At that, Remora kind of looks over at you guys. Okay. Let me sweeten the deal a little bit. Just tell you what, I will challenge Corin. I challenge you. Tell you what, I'll offer you the same thing I offered the orc earlier. If you win, you get one of these, and she points to her lips there. If I win, say you have to dress up in my lady clothes and do a dance for us all.
Porto laughs and then says, Corin, take the deal.
Corin kind of chuckles at this suggestion. He's just like, alright, I'll take you up on this interesting offer.
Alright, very well then. So at this point, we both, what's your dex mod? Corin?
4.
Okay, her dex mod is only a +2. So what that basically means is this is going to be zeroed out. You guys take a couple practice rounds throwing these darts to see how accurate you are. She's basically going to throw her darts from about 10 feet away. Since you're a +4, she's a +2, you're going to throw darts from about 20 feet away. So in essence, this basically zeroes out the plus and minuses. You guys should both have the same, I guess, skill level, just from different links, if that makes sense.
Okay.
All right, and since she has the lower dex mod, she's going to be the first one to be the brave chicken at this point. So again, you have 4 shots. It's just going to be a straight up D20. Again, there's no modifiers to it because that's what that distance does for that. And you're basically trying to hit one of these targets at this point. So anytime you're ready, you can throw your first dart.
He's like, well, you're the one who came up with this game, so I apologize if I hit you. And he goes ahead and tosses him.
No, just one at a time. One at a time.
Oh, sorry about that then.
Okay, so your 20 was the first one. Damn. All right, so you get ready to throw a dart. Which one are you aiming for? I guess I should ask you that first.
I'm throwing right above her head first.
Of course you are. And you get a bullseye with that 20. All right, so since you already did roll on, so your second one was number 2. I'll say it's on the right side. You rolled a 2, and that goes wide. You miss badly. Goes way off to the right here. So you've got a point, and now she's got a point because you missed horribly bad on that one. Your third one was a 9. That one is close. Down here towards her crotch. Oh my gosh. What are you going to do there? A 9. Bam. Now she's got to roll a con save to see if she flinches. Oh! And she flinches out of the way. Whoa, whoa. So basically I need to erase that one. She moves out of the way, but she also gets you get a point for making her flinch. Your last one was a 13 on this side. 13. Real close again. You miss the target, and you miss her, and she gets a point. So now it's tied. She's got 2, you've got 2. Now it's her turn to throw darts at you.
Alright.
At that, you see her kind of walk off a little bit. That was close. I'm not sure what you're aiming for there, mister, but you almost got me if I hadn't jumped out of the way.
Corin, you might want to, this is out of character, by the way. You might want to put your current hit points to maximum.
Oh, yeah. I forget what it is now. 45.
Alright, so you see her kind of saunter her way over to the other side of her, get her 10 feet away, and she pulls out her darts, and she goes, I haven't made up my mind yet if I'm going to shoot for the targets or try to get me some chicken. What do you think, Corin?
Go for the targets. Show me your skills.
She kind of gives you a wink, and she throws her first dart at your head. Ooh, boy. That's a close one. You see the dart come flying over towards your head over here. Oh, why is it not drawing? Hold on. Just barely misses your head. Nope, that was supposed to be a different color. Let me change the color. She rolls a second one. Oh, the 13, you're able to roll me a... Which one is it? Whichever ability you're most proficient in, roll me a save in that to see if you flinch. Alright, so this time you don't flinch. You see the dart coming over here and it stabs you right in the freaking arm. You take one point of piercing damage.
Can I catch that one with my monk deflection?
If you try to catch it,
You'd be flinching.
you're going to be losing a point.
Oh, that's fair. Yeah, okay, I'll just take it then.
So you get a point for that, for not flinching, for taking a hit on there. And she looks at you like, wow, I guess he's a little bit tougher than I thought he was. Let's try this one. You see her fling another one right at your crotch.
I'm closing my eyes.
And she hits it right in the bullseye. Says, had you worried there, I think.
Not the kind of bullseye that you're thinking, but the actual bullseye.
Good shot, shot.
All right, so you got 2 points. She's got 1 at this point. And she goes, takes her last dart, gives it a fling. Oh.
Oh!
And you see her dart go wide, way wide, off to the side of the target over. You're lucky that one didn't get anywhere near you, because that would have definitely hit you somewhere bad. So you got 3 more points, and she got 1. So now, that's it. You just won the game there. You got 5 points before she did. And you see her look all dejected as she throws that last dart, and it goes wide over. She says, damn it, I should have been standing closer. Because, all right, come here, little boy.
Little? I'm a lot older than you.
Porto laughs, and then casually just not really smacks, but kind of places his hand on Remora's shoulder and says, "Here, if you want a real test of dexterity, challenge me to this game." And Porto throws out his hand and then clenches his fist, but leaves his thumb up. And then says, "Here, grasp my hand and make the same gesture. Stick out your thumb, and we shall commence a war of thumbs."
She kind of looks you over a little bit. So I thought you had your chance here, but first things first. I owe Quarren his reward. And she kind of saunters over to you, Quarren, and wraps one arm around you, and she grabs the back of your head, and she dips you as she gives you a kiss in front of everybody else.
My eyes are just like bulging open as she dipped me. I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
She's got a big smile on her face. She goes, all right, Portal, what is this thumb contraption you're trying to do here?
It's but a simple game. Simply, we go side to side with our thumbs as we clench our fists with one another. We go side to side and we count down from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then once we finish the countdown, we should try whoever subdues the other's thumb, and that's placing their thumb upon the other's thumb and pinning it, so to speak, for 1 to 2 seconds, wins the game.
She looks at us. That sounds like a long, convoluted way to say you want to play Thumb Wars.
I'm a man of exotic
User
words.
in your channel timed out.
But yes, I challenge you to a thumb war.
Okay. Very well. She kind of holds out her hand and waits for you to kind of grasp hers. And all right, so we're going to do a thumb war. Let me figure out how I want to roll this. Let's do, I don't know if that'd be acrobatics, that'd be athletics, if that just be a straight up dex.
It would probably be dex.
I'm thinking like performance. Let's do performance. I'm gonna go that route.
Well, it's based off dex. No wait. That performance based off charisma, isn't it?
I believe so. Yeah.
I'll accept it. Whatever.
All right. So it's dueling perception rolls at this point.
All right. Should I roll?
Yes, please. Well, that isn't exactly what I was looking for. I got a +5 and I got 5. How the heck is that even possible? Let me just check this again. 1 second.
No.
Alright, that is not working. What the hell? 1 second. Alright, let me just roll this and I'm going to add 5 to it. It's going to be straight up D20. Alright, so 15. Alright, so you guys go back and forth with your thumbs, and she got a big smile on her face as she's trying to pull in you, and you're pulling her back, and she finally gets her finger pinned on top of yours. And she's supposed to hold it for 2 seconds now? Is that correct?
Yes. At this point, I think it would be like a Constitution or Strength
Opposing strength.
All right.
She has a -1 to that. I'm just,
Okay. All right. So I should roll a Strength save.
yeah, strength check. Yeah, same thing. It's a good,
All right. Then. Let's do it.
you guys freaking tie.
Oh!
All right, so you guys pull back and forth, and she doesn't quite let go, and you don't quite get it out. But oh crap! And I always say PC's tie. Okay, roll again. Oh, look at that! She got an 18. All right, she keeps your finger fairly secured in there. You can feel her fingernail almost digging into your thumb, like she's holding it right there. I win again! I win again! Well, I guess technically I lost first time.
Porto just says, "Are you that fond of my hand?"
She kind of looks at you. There you go again, flirting, flirting, flirting. I didn't mean anything by it. Don't get all excited.
Porto just chuckles and says, "Congratulations."
Thank you, thank you. That was a fun game. All right, anybody else? All right, any more evening actions for anybody?
Porto is researching on the potion thing, and he asks for Nimba for assistance if he's able to.
All right, so give me a couple of suggestions of how you're doing any kind of testing on this. You're trying to
Well, first of all,
your finger in it. What are you doing?
First of all, Porto sacrifices one of his daggers for experimentation to see if the substance holds onto metal and if it's able to be coated onto the weapon. In which case, depending on the reaction, he'll probably tinker with the substance to see if it's able to be edible and provide a resistance for the properties.
User joined your channel.
Poisonous and acidic.
All right, so roll me an investigation check.
Sure thing. Do I get like advantage or?
Tell you what, since you got your research background, then I'll go ahead and allow it this time. I was trying to think of something good for your one, but your research thing probably saved you there at that point. All right, so you're basically able to determine that this stuff can be used for poison on weapons. You and Nimba are able to determine that you've probably got about 10 doses that you can get out of this based on what you've got left from your experimentation. You're not exactly sure how long it will last once you put it on a weapon, but it definitely has a poison effect that'll be added to any kind of a weapon you put it on.
But the question here is how far can I provide? Like, I guess what I'm really asking for is how much can I dilute it before it becomes ineffective?
Oh, that's what you're experimenting with?
Well, I mean, like if it can be used to be added onto arrows or weapons and inflict added poison damage, my question is how many times can I disperse it before it gets diluted to the point where it's ineffective? Basically what I'm asking is how many people would I be able to provide it for in order to make it effective and not make it ineffective.
Okay, I got you. So let's go this way. So basically, you know that, again, you probably get about 10 doses out of it. Each dose is estimated to do anywhere from 1 to 6 poison damage. If you dilute it into 2 vials, then that damage will be halved, and every time you split it again, that damage will be halved.
Okay. 10 vials. I can turn this substance into 10 vials, coat it
not
with
10 vials. You have 10 doses. So if you just
doses.
right, so you can put it in 10 vials, but that means 1 dose each in each vial. If you see what I'm saying.
Oh, okay. Okay. So wait, 10 doses then. How many doses then would it be required to coat a weapon or arrows in this case and be used to inflict poison damage?
I'll say 1 dose covers a typical weapon, or 5 arrows or crossbows bolts. Or 5 ranged weapons,
Okay.
put it that way. 5 range, like, it's a shuriken or an arrow or anything like that.
Okay.
Dart.
Alright, so 5 ranged weapons or 1 melee weapon.
Correct. Exception to that is like, a hand axe. That's not going to be, you're not going to get 5 hand axes. That's going to be just 1.
That kind of makes sense, yeah. Okay.
So you'll need to keep track of that probably somewhere in your character sheet or in the party loot or something like that. All right, anybody else? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Portal.
Is there like is that it for my evening action, or am I able to do further research to distinguish whether or not it can be edible or ingested safely without inflicting any damage, but provide resistance to poison or acidic damage?
That would require a little more research than what you've got time for tonight.
Alright, then considering the fact that at this point I have 10 doses to coat weapons or 5 projectile weapons to inflict poison damage, I will spend another day to do further research to see if it can be used, if it can be ingested safely, and provide resistance damage. Resistance benefits.
All right, you can do your research tomorrow when we get to our afternoon or evening actions.
Got it.
All right, anybody else have any evening actions before you guys basically take a rest for the night? All right, so who's going to volunteer for first watch?
Porto will.
Alright, there'll be 3 watches to make it through the night. Who wants to take the second watch?
I will.
That was Blockbard. Second watch? Second watch.
Yep.
Okay, and third watch? If nobody volunteers, Navek will. Oh, I see Tegan.
Tegan takes
it. I see you now, Tegan. Okay, you'll take the last watch. Alright, so you guys basically all are going to retire for the night. I didn't hear anybody else want to do any evening actions. The first watch was Porto. You're up top. Nimba is also up there with you on the first watch as well, as he helps to navigate the ship on its route. I need everybody that's below deck, give me a perception check. Even if you're asleep, give me a perception check.
So wait, that includes me, Porto?
No, you're up top. You're on watch. I just need everybody that's below deck. That's basically asleep.
Oh, okay.
That second one was Storm.
Since I'm an elf, I only get 4 hours of sleep, so I figure I'll probably be awake for the last watch too.
For the last watch?
Yeah. I'll sleep the 4 hours and then get up.
Alright, Bachbard, where are you sleeping at then? Okay, then you wouldn't even need to make a perception check if you're doing that. Alright, Tegan, so explain to me how, if Storm sees or hears something, what would he normally do for you? in that regard?
Probably start whining or trying to pull at my arm or something to wake me up, nuzzling me or something.
That's if he notices something threatening?
Yes.
Okay. Alright, none of you guys hear anything except for Quarren. You wake up in the middle of the night and you feel something basically crawling into bed with you at this point. You roll over and you see Remora laying in bed with you with basically nothing on at this point but a smile on her face.
Well, hello there.
Okay, I'm not going to roleplay this, so don't even go there. I'm just saying you guys had a very amorous night together, and she leaves you. When you wake up in the morning, she's not there.
It was glorious.
And on her way out the door, she sees a Storm in the hallway, and she reaches down and kind of rubs him behind the ears and heads back into her room. All right. Here comes Jimbo, running, rang, with this pot, waking everybody up. Time for breakfast. Time for breakfast. You guys all heading upstairs for breakfast?
You're supposed to use those to cook with, not wake people.
Porto definitely goes up for breakfast.
Yeah, I hop right up. Or I'd already be up on top, actually. So I'll go and get breakfast.
Alright, so you see everybody kind of making their way up. Quarren, you obviously noticed Remora kind of coming up, and she has a slight little smirk on her face as she looks at you, doesn't say anything, kind of goes about her breakfast and her normal chores and whatnot on the deck.
I'll just say good morning to her. And go about my business as usual.
She says, "Good morning, Quarren." Kind of gives you a little wink, goes about her business.
Porto shoves his shoulder lightly into Quarren and says, "She fancies you."
I kind of got the impression she does, yes.
Are you gonna make a move or anything?
Well, she actually beat me to it. Last night, I found her in my bed, and, you know how those things go, I'm sure.
Oh, you sly dog, you!
Are you guys like talking like openly and loudly over this, or are you guys kind of whispering this?
No, I'm
he's
whispering. I'm whispering this.
I'm like, yeah, just try and not let everyone know about it. I feel like it might be a bit disrespectful.
All right, so who is on watch at this point on the front of the ship? Blockbard.
Porto is.
Blockbard, you still out on your horse? Are you staying on ship now? What's your status?
No, I'm if we're moving around on a horse.
Okay, but Porter, you're going to be out on deck, kind of keeping watch.
Yep.
All right, Porto, roll me a perception check at advantage, and everybody else, roll me a perception check.
Got it. Bam! Oh damn, Tegan. Look at
Double
you.
crits.
All right, so this almost makes sense. All of you guys are some very good smelling dudes, except for Blockbard, because I guess evidently he already stinks, so he doesn't really notice anything. But you guys all start getting a really strong whiff of you're not sure what it's cow shit, it's horse manure, it's just horrid, rank fertilizer crap. You're getting this horrible stench starting to waft over you guys. And Porto, you can see for the right on the edge of your sight how far you can see. You start seeing what looks like a village coming up on the horizon in front of you guys.
And this would be Giad? Am I saying the name right?
If you're saying that out loud. Yeah.
No, I'm not saying it out loud. Out of character. Is that how you pronounce Giad?
Yeah, Giad.
Okay. Porto announces Giad seems to be a ways away from here. It doesn't look like many hours away from where we are.
Not that Nimba you see him kind of trying to peek over the wheel, the steering wheel a little bit, and you can't quite see over there. He says, "Yeah, I could smell him a few 100 yards back. Yeah, that's definitely Jihad." To which, if you guys ask, Nimba will tell you guys that that's what you're smelling is basically the livestock. That Jihad is a town known for their huge herds of livestock, of horse and cattle and goat and anything else that can crap and stink up the air. They've got it there in that town.
Porto takes a deep whiff and then exhales and then says, "Nothing like the smell of nature."
Romeo con save.
And this smells nothing like it.
All right. Boom.
You're lucky. It was only DC 5. But yeah, you take a big old whiff of it, and it obviously stinks. But you're able to refrain from losing your breakfast over that smell.
Nothing like that sultry scent of natural fertilizer.
All right, Porto, roll me one more perception check.
This is
Got it.
why I stay away from towns.
And you too, Bachvard. Bachvard, you too. Oh, I'm sorry, you did do it, didn't you?
He did.
I just saw portals, yeah. All right, so Bachvard, you notice coming up on the horizon towards the town, you see two figures approaching you on horseback from the direction of the village of Jihad.
There's somebody up in the front of the ship posting watch. Is that my
Yeah,
understanding?
Porter was up at the front of the ship, but he didn't see it. You're out on your horse.
Yeah.
You did.
I raise an axe in the air and stop my horse and shout, just get his attention and focus him on whatever that is.
What's that, Bachfar? Do you notice something up in front?
Sorry, what did you say was coming towards us?
You see two figures on horseback approaching from the village on the road.
Two approaching.
Up ahead, two approaching. Are the?
Well, I mean, presumably you can see them now. I mean,
I guess.
Yeah. Once he points them out, you'll be able to see them.
All right. Those two on horseback. Bachberg?
I don't know. Are they?
What's the question?
Were they on horseback?
Yeah, they're on horseback. All right, so you guys basically see these two figures on horseback approaching, not at a fast pace, but a nice even pace. And once they get close enough where you can kind of see them, you see them stop, and they kind of have this look of awe as they see you guys approaching a little bit closer. And you see one of them finally hold up a hand and says, "Halt there! What are we looking at? What is this thing?"
Porto shouts, "You, my friend, are looking at the marvels of technology. This here is a ship that is being constructed by the magical wonders of spells and stuff. And we are on our way to Jihad."
You see the two guards kind of look at each other. Spells and stuff. Well, I guess no one's really going to believe this until they actually see it for themselves, but GS, you're right. Jihad is just down there. We're from the town of Jihad. We're a couple peacekeepers. We just need to possibly look at your ship a little bit more detail. We need to come aboard and do a quick little inspection, make sure everything's okay. Do you concede?
You say you are the peacekeepers of Jihad.
Correct. You see him kind of hold up some kind of a little makeshift little leather badge that they have. Can't really make it out from where you are, but you see they're holding up something that looks like something official.
Can I roll a perception check to just make sure that they are identical and that there's nothing off about them?
From this distance you can, but it's going to be at disadvantage.
Sure, I'll do it anyway. Damn.
They both look like two blurry brown blobs.
Hordo says to the rest of the crew, it's two officials from Jihad. Should we let them up?
I look to Nivek. I'm like, Nivek, you said you might have traveled here, right? Is this normal for them to want to scout or check our ship?
Normal?
I don't think seeing a ship is normal for a landlocked city.
No, really not, but, I mean, do they search every caravan that comes in here, be it wagon or ship? I mean...
Nivek would chime in, says
Curious.
The peacekeepers are true. That is really what they call the force within Jihad. Is called the peacekeepers. Now, as far as their inspection practices, I don't recall them ever having to inspect a vehicle before, but this is not your average vehicle, as Tegan said.
Very well, I think we should allow them. Maybe just keep a watch on them, make sure they don't tamper with things they shouldn't.
I'm gonna ride down closer to them, and but looking to either side of the trail for, I don't know, what's the terrain here like? I'm just watching out for more people that we haven't seen
Yeah,
yet.
it's still like you're in the plains. It's open plains except for the road. I mean, there's no trees or bushes or boulders or rocks or anything for something to hide around. It's pretty much an open plain. All right, so Bachbard.
Okay, well, I ride down to them, and then if I get down to them, I'm just gonna kind of circle around them.
Okay, Bachbard, give me another perception check once you get close to them, and do it at advantage. All right, Bachbard, you recognize them from when you were in town before selling your pelts back in Jihad. You recognize both the peacekeepers.
I recognize them personally, or just their uniforms?
You remember seeing one of them before, and you've also seen the uniforms before as well.
Okay.
Like I said, you were in Jihad for
I'm
a few
just
days
gonna-
selling off some pelts before you headed off this direction.
Okay. So all right. Oh, I see. So we got it. All right. Well, I'm just waiting for instructions from the ship.
And one of the guards sees you approach,
Allow them up!
and he kind of looks at you knowing and says, I think I've seen you before. Weren't you in Jihad just a few days ago? He's talking to you, Bachbard.
Yeah. I don't really have a lot to say here because I'm not in charge. I'm just playing eyes.
Out of character, just like go with whatever your character is like whatever your beliefs are, however you think, what your way of thinking is, or just how you feel. Just go with the flow. Speak your mind.
Yeah, you seen me. I was here.
And the guard kind of nods at you a little bit and says, I thought you left town, but I see you found some kind of great magical ship of some sort. And they kind of along with you start approaching the ship. Do we have permission to board?
I can't give permission for anything, and I don't know what this is, but I know that the people who sail the ship are good folk. They have shown me kindness.
Bakvard, what are they saying?
What is your intention?
We need to inspect the ship, make sure you guys are on the up and up. I mean, it's not every day you see a flying boat come into your city, so we'll have to do our due diligence, and we need to inspect your ship to make sure there's nothing corrupt, nothing subversive.
They're worried about your stupid flying ship.
Oh, so it's
They think it's
basically
as
just-
weird as I do.
Oh, so it's basically just customs.
That make 4 of us.
Okay. Yeah, just let them check the ship. We have nothing to hide.
Corin will throw down like a rope ladder for them to climb up.
Alright, so before they actually climb up on the ship, they take a couple trips all the way around the ship, looking at the big glass tubes and all the air that's blowing out of it, and you see one of them kind of look inside the glass sphere a little bit, and he's like taken aback by what he sees inside there. What kind of devilry is this? Is that some kind of a spirit or a demon? What is that?
Porto interjects and states, "It is merely an elemental creature that is used to support the structure."
And both of them kind of look at it a little bit more and look up at you, and it's obviously safe. It's confined in there. It won't. This is such madness. Such madness, I tell you.
Porto continues to state, "It is simply controlled by a simple remote device. There is nothing to worry about these creatures."
Yeah, and Corin will also say, "Don't worry, my friend. We have complete control over these. We actually have a spellcaster who gave the head of our ship control of them entirely, so not to worry."
And Nimba kind of pokes his head off the side a little bit, and he gives a little wave down to him. First time they've actually seen him a little bit. The guards look up to you. That's your captain? Who ever heard of a gnome piloting a boat in the air? I tell you what, this is a story I tell my grandkids about. No one's going to believe us until, come on. So they climb up top, start looking around a little bit more, asking all kinds of questions like, where did you guys come from? How exactly did you get this ability to control these little wind demons? They're asking what you guys are carrying, where you guys are heading. And Nivek, kind of tries to come in and chime in and fill in what's going on with Helgabal, and you guys can basically fill them in with anything else you want. But they're just asking all kinds of questions.
At this point, Porto attempts to charismatically persuade the guards, stating that we're adventurers. We've come a long way from our travels, and that our vessel is merely a consequence of our what's the word I'm looking for here?
On your quest? I don't know, where are you going?
Compensation? Compromise?
One of the guards perks and ear ups. You said compensation?
Yes.
He kind of discreetly holds one hand out. I understand compensation.
Oh. Porto nods and then states, "Very well then." And he slips 20 gold into his hand.
At that, you see him kind of look at you knowingly and kind of cool and calmly takes a 20 and kind of pockets it in his breeches. Calls over to his other guards. "Okay, I think we've seen enough. We'll give you guys an escort into town, but you can't park it in town. It's going to have to stay outside. This thing's too big to go down the street, so we'll escort you as far as the edge of the town, but you'll have to leave it parked outside."
Very well. I understand.
They hop back down off of the ship, and they start escorting you towards into town. And again, the smell is getting stronger. As you guys get closer, you're starting to see kind of in the outskirts of town where you see some livestock grazing, some cows, some horses. See a couple of shepherds out there kind of keeping them all reined in a little bit. But as you guys pass by anybody out in the field, any humanoid, they all kind of just stop and stare with like jaws open, looking at this flying boat kind of slowly making its way across the road towards the town. Little kids start coming out and like running alongside of it and everything, and right underneath it, and you see them kind of getting their hair blown from little wind methods that are blowing the air and dust underneath it. And all kinds of, you get quite a crowd starting to build up by the time you guys get up to the edge of the city. And the peacekeepers stop you at that point, and you see another similarly dressed peacekeeper walking out. And it comes up, got the same look on his face of awe, wondering what this thing is, and you see him spend a few minutes talking to the guards, and they exchange a couple conversations back and forth, and shaking their heads no and yes, and then you see the one guard kind of pat his pocket with his hand, and then you see a big smile on the other peacekeeper. He says, okay, so we've got visitors for the night, but as I said, you have to park it here. You guys wanting to park it here? You guys going to try? What's your plan now?
There's nothing wrong with parking it here. How far is it from the city, or specifically the city gates?
So you guys are right on outside the city gates. Let me just show you the city here.
Right.
Alright, so you guys are obviously approaching from this side over here, and that's probably where the best spot you'll be able to have to park your boat for the night. The one gentleman that came back out, along with the other two guards, introduced himself as Bo. He's the chief peacekeeper here in Jihad, and he tells you guys you're more than welcome to stay here for how many nights you want. Tells you they've got an inn, they've got a tavern, they got lots of shops in town. Be happy to keep you as long as you can. Just keep your ship outside here so we don't tear up the roads or freak out the people. Or no doubt everyone's going to hear of this and see it by the time you guys get off the ship.
Porto states casually, "Why, my good friend, if the public is interested and curious of our design, simply allow them to be curious, and I will gladly demonstrate how we are able to construct such a marvelous construction."
Give me a perception check, Porto.
Sure.
Okay, as you're talking all this fancy talk to the chief Bo here, you see off to the side, you see Nimba kind of looking at you in awe, and he kind of rolls his eyes a little bit. Says, and you hear him whisper over to his brother. Says, when did he become the expert? He's talking like this is his ship. So at this point, you got Bo, you got all kinds of town folk coming out, and you see this little old shriveled little gnome woman walking up, and she's just kind of slowly looking over, and you see her run her hand along the side of the hole underneath and walk up to the big spheres, and she's just looking at with wonder and awe at these giant glass spheres over there. To which Bo kind of walks up and says, "Careful, Ubon, don't get too close. We're not 100% sure if these things are really safe or not. They say they are, but you shouldn't take any chances."
Porto, does Porto notice this couple?
Did we talk about whether you've been through Jihad before?
No, we did not.
Refresh my memory. What part of the realm were you from?
I'm not from this realm.
Okay, then you would not know these town folk. These two I'm talking about, the Chief Bo or this little gnome.
Okay. So does Porto notice these couple that are conversing with each other, and the one knows that is checking out the ship and the construct of it?
Well, let me start this way. Who all is actually staying on the ship? Who's getting down, or who's doing what?
Well, Porto's they're definitely getting down from the ship.
Yeah, Corn will get down for now.
Tegan's headed off the ship. He still doesn't like it.
Alright, so pretty much everybody's getting off. Bachbard was already off the ship. Nimba and Jimba will see you guys getting off, and Nimba will volunteer to kind of stay on the ship to keep it secure, and he'll volunteer to answer questions of all the looky-loos that are now pretty much surrounding the ship at this point. So, Porta, your question was, I'm sorry, say it again?
Does Porto notice the couple taking notice of the ship, the one gnome fascinated by the design, and the other gnome warning the other about whether or not it's dangerous or not?
Yeah, you'd pretty much notice everybody, but in particular, you would have had your eyes on the guard. Chief Bo he's a human. All three of the peacekeepers are humans, dressed in barbarian garb, hides, leather type of clothing. Uvan is like I said, a wrinkled little gnome. She's dressed up in like bright robes and colors. She's got all kinds of beads and stuff in her hair. No teeth, pretty much all gone. Pretty much see her gumming her mouth closing and shutting, and see her gums easily. But yeah, you definitely notice those two kind of talking back and forth.
Well, in that case, Porto simply casually walks up to them and states, not to worry, in Gnomish, of course, not to worry. These things are harmless. They are merely a construct of magical design meant to keep the boat afloat.
She just looks up at you and she replies back in Gnomish as well. It's truly amazing. I've lived all these years, these 400 plus years. I've never seen quite the wonder as this. This is truly marvelous workmanship.
Porto responds in Gnomish, we have one person to thank. Unfortunately, he's not here at the moment.
Says, well, it's all well and good. I'm sure that we'll see him one day, but if this can be duplicated, this could change the landscape of Faerun. To just imagine all the trade, and all the bad things that could come from this as well. Yes, there's always good with the bad.
Porto begins to query, is this not common in your lands? I would have thought that more than one person would have thought of such construct. Is this honestly the first time you have seen such a vessel operate before? In that case, I may want to make sure that everyone is aware of such technology.
At that, she kind of answers back with, well, we've seen, certain type of constructs, levitate before, or, be able to use the harness of the winds to move it, but not with such power and with such control. And you guys had to have been going for more than just an hour. Even the most powerful wizards cannot make things levitate for more than an hour, tops.
Porto nods and says, I agree. Most wizards are not adept as well as the one individual in question. A dear friend, actually. One who I met briefly, but is sincerely the greatest person I have met yet.
Sounds like a wonderful being. Just real quick, when you guys all got off the ship, what are you guys wearing? Are you guys like all harnessing or all brandishing your weapons? Are you guys? What are you doing? How are you presenting yourselves?
Porto is simply wearing his attire, simply common clothes. That cloak of his, which looks a bit rugged, like bearskin cloak, but no weapons brandishing or brandished to speak of. If he is wearing any weapons at all, he is concealing them, but he is not concealing them to the point where he wants to hide them from people. He's simply wearing them on his belts, or like his bow, his daggers, his short sword. Short sword. He's not exactly hiding it, but he is holding them on his person. But he is definitely wearing them proudly, and he's not concealing them whatsoever.
Get your
I'll have my bow on my back, and then just my fists out, but the actual like fist gauntlets I have in my bag on my back.
Teagan's weapons are all slung and stored, but they're on him.
Alright, so basically anybody that is showing or has a weapon within view, the guards will approach you and tell you that you must disarm yourselves before you go into town. Said you can either keep them locked up on your ship, or you can turn them into the chief peacekeeper, and he will keep them under lock and key until you guys leave. But no one in town is allowed to walk around with any concealed or shown weapons other than the peacekeepers.
Can
At
Porto...
this, Corn says, "Are you not aware of the centaur attacks in the areas? It would be quite dangerous for a group capable of ourselves to be unarmed if your village is attacked while we're here."
Chief Bo kind of...
Porto, he states factually.
So to the Corn's statement, Chief Bo kind of looks somewhat surprised. As well, we had a crazy old coot in here a few days ago that said something about he was attacked by centaurs back on Bloodstone Pass, but we've not seen anything of the sort. If anything, we've had friendly centaurs here. It's been a while, but we've heard no such stories.
Describe the coot.
Describe the coot?
Yeah,
Yes.
what did he look like?
Yes, and Porto adds, did he happen to wear a cloak by any chance? Preferably a hooded cloak, you know, the kind that hides his face.
He's like, well, I don't recall him really trying to hide. He was quite an excited little man. He was asking something about another caravan that might have been traveling through here ahead of him by a few days. Kept going on about his family that was going towards Bildabaris, but yeah, we just took him for a crazy old coot, and he was in the tavern for a couple of days, and he left already a day ago, I believe it was.
Where was he headed?
He kind of goes back on his peacekeeper. Do you guys recall where he was going to? And they both kind of shrug and shake their heads. No, we didn't really ask him where he was going to. We get so many travelers in and out of here. If I asked every single person, there's no way I'd remember what they said.
Which damn direction did he go?
Again, he looks back at his guards. Do you guys, all I recall is something about Bildabaris, so I'm assuming that's where he was going.
Listen, I have to state something. Have you not been aware of what happened to Helgballis recently?
And he looks at you kind of quizzes, says, no, what? We haven't had any travelers or merchants. You know, come to think of it, we normally get a few merchants traveling from Helgablah every 2 or 3 days, but it's been at least 5 days since we've seen one. Tell me, what's going on?
Exactly.
Fallen.
Exactly. The centaurs in the area have raided Helgballis and are now looking to raid any nearby towns or cities. For what reason, I'm not currently aware of, but clearly we need to be armed in case they do decide to attack the city. We are here on a mission, and currently if they do decide to attack, we need to be prepared to defend ourselves and this city or town if they do decide to attack.
as you guys are having this conversation and revelation, I guess, or explaining this to Chief Bo and the Peacekeepers, the crowd around you starts, they obviously start listening in this, and you hear all kinds of murmurs and some people kind of letting out little whimpers or cries or whatnot. What's this? What's this mean? We can't defend ourselves. Look at this. We're just a small village. What are we going to do? And little gnome woman kind of speaks up real loud and says, "Calm down, people. Calm down. There's no need to be afraid. Even if Helgabal has fallen, we have nothing to fear. Now, please, just go back to your homes. Don't worry. We'll take care of things." And you see her kind of going around to some of the townsfolk and trying to calm them down and saying a few calming words to them and whatnot. And she kind of looks over at you, Portal, and kind of getting you a look like, okay, can you please, quiet down and let's not cause a panic at this point. To which Bo kind of
Yes.
pulls you aside, says the same thing, says just keep it down. We have a lot of paranoid folk here in the village, and we don't need to cause any unnecessary fears or what have you. So let's discuss this in private, shall we?
Yes. Yes. And Porto adds to the gnome woman, "People, fear not. The centaurs are but days away from Giad, and we are here on a mission. Should they decide to head on this way, we are prepared to combat them with all of our forces. Fear not, we are quite adequate at what we do."
At that, you see even more looks of panic in the crowd at this point, and you hear whispers and murmurs of, "There's how many can there be? There's only like 5, 6, 7. Hell, even if there was 20 of them, there's no. Helgabal went down. What are they going to do? This is crazy. This is nuts." You see some of them kind of running off back to their homes at this point.
Porto interjects and say, "Fear not, the guard and us will protect you." And then with that,
He's
Porto
really
just
good with
backs down.
fire.
Uvan kind of grabs your arm, Porto, and pulls you down to her and says, "Will you please shut up?"
Okay, I understand I'm doing more harm than good. Now, what's the situation exactly?
And Bo steps in and goes, "First things first, if we're going to discuss this, you guys need to decide what you're doing with your weapons. Like I said, either keep them stowed upon your
My
ship,
weapons stay on me.
then you can stay on the ship. I mean you no disrespect, sir, but it's a law within this village to keep the peace. We cannot make exceptions for you. I'll have every Tom, Dick, and Harry out there running around with a carving knife and a butcher's axe, and who knows what'll happen."
I understand, sir, and I fully respect your laws of this town. But as things are the way they are right now, currently, and I understand you don't have any full proof of the centaur attacks, I am fully aware that you are relying on our word alone. But should the centaurs decide to attack this town, should we be unarmed, we are unable to provide assistance for you. In which case, it would take much more time for us to reach our ship and then bear our weapons in order to aid you than it would be to simply aid you from the start. We are simply travelers, we are here on a mission, and we are here to gain supplies in order to repair our ship. We mean no disrespect to your laws. However, we kindly ask you to provide exception to us in order to bear our weapons should the centaurs attack.
Tigid turns and yells for Nimba.
Nimba shouts back, "Yes, what is it? What is it, Tegan?" He looks over from the side of the ship.
Get some of the crew in the town, out weapons, and get the supplies we need to fix this thing.
I think Kishin and Alamar have already taken off. He looks around and says, "I don't see them." Well, Ramor's still here.
Good.
But Ramor's heading in town soon to try to find some material for the sails. I'm sure Alamar's getting more food, and who knows what Kishin's doing.
Very well. I'll wait with you on the ship.
Porto then states to the party and the crew, listen guys, if the guards are adamant on keeping us restricted to the laws and the rules, and we must leave our weapons to our ship, I suggest you guys remain in the ship. I will stay in the city as well with anyone else who is able to, should they relinquish their weapons or whatnot. And I will personally send a magical telepathical message to you should any problem arise. I'm able to fend off for myself, but you have my word that I will let you know as soon as possible.
All right, so you chimed in before we gave you a chance to roll a persuasive check with Chief Bo on your previous explanation of their need to stay armed. So go ahead and roll a persuasion check to see if you can talk Bo into letting you guys keep your weapons on you. It's DC 15. All right, so again, he hears your words.
Oh, so close.
But he's not budging. He said, if you want, I will show you where we keep them in the courthouse. You will still have access to them as long as you have a peacekeeper with you. Your choice. Keep it under lock and key in our courthouse or on your ship. But either way, no weapons within the village.
Whichever Porto whispers to the party and the crew, whichever decision you take, rest assured I will be able to inform you immediately, no matter what distance I am, and allow you to know what the circumstances are.
Nimba just kind of shrugs his shoulders like, I don't have any weapons, guys.
By all means, if you wish to go into town, Nimba, go so. I shall watch the ship.
I'll leave my ships in the, my weapons in the ship. I'm kind of good with my fists anyway.
Alright, so anybody that doesn't want to leave their weapons on the ship, he will basically show you guys to the courthouse. Inside the courthouse is a locked, I guess, vault room, so to speak, where all the peacekeepers has a key. And inside the vault is a bunch of, for lack of a better term, safe deposit boxes, large ones, that you guys all have the key to. So, again, you guys are the only ones that have key to those lock boxes, but all the peacekeepers have the key to get in the vault itself. And he assures you guys, anytime you guys are ready to leave, they'll gladly give you your weapons and see you on your way. Okay, Bakvar's leaving his weapons on the ship as well. Okay. Alright, so Nimba's on the ship. Jimba's on the ship. Teague, you're staying on the ship as well?
Yes. And watching the road.
Okay. I'm assuming Porto and Quarren and Blackfire, you guys are heading into town?
Definitely.
Yep.
Alright, so as you guys are walking in towards the village itself, Uvan walks up to Porto at this point, the self-proclaimed leader of the group, sounds like. And I don't mean that, I'm not making fun of you, Porto, that's her mentality at this point. And she kind of fills you in a little bit on the town of Giad, for those who don't know. She basically tells you it's a village that makes up of a bunch of barbarian tribes. Most of them travel here to trade their goods, like pelts and hides and any kind of rare animal that's found only in this part of the realm. She said the town's gained a decent reputation of a trading post, but as you can see, it's not really that big of a village. Mostly people stay here for a day or two and move on. She also shares with you guys about their huge livestock community. Cows and goats and pigs and horses. You can see several little farmhouses even here around the edge of the village as well. And the smell is just very, very strong. And everybody that's going into town, roll me another perception check.
Man, I always crit fail on those.
Portal.
Yep.
Perception check. All right, you guys smell nothing but horse shit and pig shit and goat shit and rabbit shit and human shit. You just smell all kinds of shit. That was fun. Bunch of fails. Okay, so Ulan is kind of escorting you, into the town. She's kind of pointing out some of the general stores and like that, and she's telling you about the history of the town and everything. And she says, yeah, the smell can be bad, and she kind of points to some of the shops where you can see like there's like bouquets or strings of like flowers and other kind of aroma type plants that are along the rails along the houses, all the edges of it, and all kinds of plants all over the rails, the trails, and the roads and everything. Or she said they try to mask the smell as best they can, but you get used to it after you've been here for a few days. She tells you that herself, she's been around in Gied for over 100 years, actually 150 to be exact. Her father was a barbarian tribe leader, and she kind of sure, yes, that does sound kind of odd, stereotypical of the gnomes, but he was a great fighter. But she chose a gentler path, and she became a sage and a healer. She basically tells you that she's now basically retired, but she still keeps her place on the tribe council because a lot of the barbarian tribes still, I guess, come to her for advice and direction. But she thanks you guys all for basically showing her this wonder of a ship. And she said something that she wouldn't believe if she didn't see with her own eyes. She tells you guys that this news of the Centaur attacks really does disturb her, because she once spent a summer in this area with one of the traveling tribes, and they were nothing but gentle and loving and peaceful, and never had any kind of issues with them. And she still has one that travels through here periodically that she's actually kind of close with one of the tribes. And she just urges you guys not to cause a panic that would potentially cause them harm from foolish fears and innuendos from some of the townsfolk.
Porto nods and says, understand. I completely understand your concern, and I will respect it.
She thanks you for that, and she says if you still want to talk more about the status of Helgabal and these Centaur attacks, she asks that you save it for there's a tribal council meeting tonight, just after dark, in the courthouse. See, that would be a better venue to kind of share your concerns with a select few, rather than with the village as a whole.
In that case, Porto will attend.
All right. So at this point, it's like afternoon, and we are approaching the 3-hour mark. So just let me briefly say, if you guys have like an afternoon action, or if there's like something in particular you're looking for, or you'd like to ask about in the town, then now's your time to do that.
Porto would actually like to shop around to see if there's any potions, magical items of sorts, any books to be read that he hasn't read before, anything that would pique his interest regarding intellectual matters.
Okay. If you're wanting to, I guess, basically find out what's all around the town, you can do it one of two ways. You can walk from building to building, or you can start, asking certain people, or just need to know which direction you want to take.
I would go building a building.
All right, and that's probably we're going to have to wait that for the next session, and so you just need to point out a building, and then where you're walking to, and I'll explain what that one is. So,
Got it.
Anybody else have like an afternoon action or a question or anything along that line?
Tegan's spent this evening practicing with his bow beside the ship.
Okay, how about Quarren or Blackbard? 'Cause, like I said, it's like afternoon, and we are approaching the 3-hour mark. So just let me briefly say, if you guys have like an afternoon action or if there's like something in particular you're looking for, or you'd like to ask about in the town, then now's your time to do that.
No, I'm good.
I was just here.
That's right, Blackbard. You already know quite a bit about this town. Would you be sharing this information with the group, or are you keeping it all to yourself?
Oh yeah, happily. I mean, if they're looking for something specific.
All right, so let's see. You're not just gonna blurb out every single thing out there, so I'm gonna randomly pick a couple buildings that you thought were kind of cool or neat, whatever. So hold on one second. All right, so I picked some real winners for you. You tell the guys about the pig farm, which is this building. Where's my pointer? Over here. He said when you're in town, you're able to get some really fresh pork, and you had some really tasty pork at this pig farm here. And you also are aware of the lumber yard over here. That's ran by two little gnome brothers. That you're pretty sure those are the grandsons of that old gnome woman that you guys were talking to as you entered the town. And I also rode. Oh, you obviously know about what number is it? 24. This right here is the inn, but you didn't stay there. But that's where most of the people stay for the night. And right next door is a bathhouse, aka a brothel. I'll let you decide whether you actually partook of any of that. And this building right here.
Oh, now I can't go in there because Remora would get pissed.
Hey, Brian. Just letting you know that I'm cool with staying for another extra hour.
Well, I'm gonna leave it up to the other guys. I know some of these guys are East Coast. Normally we go for 3 hours, but I'm okay as well. You guys tell me.
I'm good for another hour or so. Depends on the other guys.
Teagid and Blackbard.
Blackbard's gotta go to bed, he said. So I think we should just call it if he's gotta go.
Alright.
Right, so again, you got tavern, you got inn, you got brothel, and Blackbard also told you guys about the pig farm and the lumber yard.
Don't tell the cook about pig farm.
He's already gone in town without you guys, so you're not sure where he went.
Damn.
Yeah, he and Kishan went into town, and then Remora was also going to town to look for some materials for to repair the sails.
Yeah, the ones that burnt.
Right.
Brian, just out of character for a bit. Could we do this like a weekly thing, or if possible at all? I don't mind if it's 2 weeks, but I mean, would it be possible to do it like a weekly thing?
That's going to depend on my work schedule. That's really the part that dictates it. And actually, I've got quite a bit prepared. So if you guys are open to doing one next Friday, then I'm okay with that. But normally I'd say it's going to be every 2 weeks because I just need time to prepare these. Like I said, I've got a beginning, I've got an ending, but depending on where you guys go, I got to have time to really research and get the maps and everything down with that.
Yeah, I'm good for next week.
Yeah, me too. Savage looks like he's down too.
I'm checking my work schedule right now. Yeah, I'm good actually. I'm good there.
Okay, so the only, I guess, wild card in there is if my wife says no. She's boss. So as long as you guys have something planning for me, you know, like maybe having sex or something like that. I don't know. Did I say that loud? Then yeah, I'm on for next Friday. That's cool. I guess I've got a lot of stuff already prepared, so I have very little to actually get ready for next week. But yeah, I guess you guys are excited about exploring the town now.
Definitely.
Yeah, man,
Jeez.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Looking forward to when Joel shows up too, or Jodell.
That too. Like, what's in this town? I'm so curious. I I'm actually really disappointed that I can't explore it right now tonight. I'm looking forward to next week if things goes according to plan. That is, of course.
All right, so that ended well then. I kept you guys entertained, and I got that little bit in there to keep you satisfied till next week, or keep you interested, keep on the edge of your seat, so to speak. All right, guys. So again, I kind of prefaced this saying it wasn't going to be a big role-playing session. You still got some more role-playing opportunities here, but depending on where you guys go with this, there will be some encounters coming up in the next session as well.
Yeah. It was actually really entertaining. It was really fun tonight.
Yeah, Porter. I got to say, you really seem to be coming out of your shell. The first few sessions, you were pretty quiet, and tonight you were like just taking over. That was awesome.
Yeah, good job, man. And you did well.
Yeah, I'm doing my best. Just stepping up one session at a time.
And Blackbart, I really enjoyed our drinking fest with the dwarf. You gained a little bit of respect from him tonight, I do believe.
Yeah, honestly.
Great, man. Yeah, thanks for putting this on. Hopefully we'll see you next Friday.
Yep.
All right, guys. So I'm going to call it then. Thanks for a good session. I really enjoyed it. As always,
All right. Good
feedback,
session.
whatever. I'll have the video up tonight. I'll probably do a recap sometime next
User
few days.
disconnected from your channel.
Alright, sounds good.
All
Talk to you next week, hopefully.
Good night, guys. Thanks.
Night.